Okay, so what if I told you we can make agreements that, well, that enforce themselves? I'm talking no lawyers, no banks, no middlemen whatsoever. That's the huge promise behind a technology that's really set to redefine trust itself, smart contracts. And today, we're going to break down exactly what they are, and more importantly, why you should care. So, here's the game plan for today. We'll kick things off by talking about the invisible price of trust. Then, believe it or not, we're going to use a vending machine to explain the core idea. After that, we'll dive into how they work, check out some mind-blowing real-world applications in Web3, and then wrap up with the challenges and the absolutely massive potential here. All right, let's jump right in. All right, first step, the invisible price of trust. Because, to really get why smart contracts are such a big deal, you first have to understand the problem they're trying to solve. And it's a problem that affects all of us, every single day. So let me ask you this. What is that invisible price we're all paying for trust? I mean, think about it. The last time you did anything major, like buying a house or even just signing a rental agreement, you didn't just shake on it, right? Of course not. You had to bring in lawyers, banks, agents, all these third parties who basically act as the gatekeepers of trust. And here's the thing, that trust, it isn't free, not even close. Every single one of those intermediaries adds friction. They slow things down, they cost a ton of money, and honestly, they just make everything way more complicated. That is the invisible price of trust we're talking about, and it's exactly what smart contracts are designed to, well, get rid of. So how do we actually ditch those expensive middlemen? The answer, and you're going to love this, is an idea that's as simple and as reliable as a vending machine. So what in the world is a smart contract? Well, just think of it like this. It's an agreement, but instead of being written in legal jargon on a piece of paper, it's written in computer code. And here's the magic part. Because it's code, it just runs itself. It executes automatically. The program is the contract. And seriously, the absolute best way to get this is with that vending machine analogy. It's basically a real-world physical smart contract. Just think about it for a second. Step 1, you pick your soda. That's you defining the condition. Step 2, you put in the exact change. You've now met the condition. And step 3, the machine automatically spits out your drink. The action is executed. There's no one to argue with, no paperwork, no middleman. It's just a perfect, flawless, automated deal. Okay, so that simple vending machine logic gives smart contracts what I like to call their 4 superpowers. First, they are totally automatic. No humans needed. Second, they're immutable, which is just a fancy way of saying once they're set, they are set in stone. You can't change them. Third, they're transparent. Anyone can look at the rules. And finally, they're decentralized. No single company or person is in charge. You put all that together, and what do you get? That is the secret sauce for automated trust. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get a little geeky and pop the hood to see the how. What's the actual engine room that makes all this automated trust possible? And this comparison right here really just lays it all out. On one side, you've got traditional contracts, written in confusing legal speak, enforced by a slow legal system, and full of middlemen. On the other side, smart contracts. They're written in precise code, enforced instantly by the blockchain, and they are totally automated. We're literally talking about a shift from trusting people and institutions to trusting pure, verifiable math. It's a huge change. And when you really boil it down, the backbone of all of this is super simple logic. It's just if-then statements. If this happens, then that happens. So if the package tracking says delivered, then the contract automatically releases the payment. It's the exact same logic as our vending machine, but you can apply it to, well, almost anything you can imagine. This simple idea is the powerful heart of every single smart contract. But where does this magical if-then code actually live and run? Well, that's where blockchain comes in, and why it's absolutely essential. The blockchain is the stage where this all plays out. It's a public record book that's impossible to tamper with. Think of it as the notary, the judge, and the security guard all rolled into one. It provides that safe, decentralized space where the contract can do its thing without anyone messing with it. Okay, but here's a good question. What if the contract needs to know something from the real world? Like who won the Super Bowl or what the price of gold is right now. That's where a special tool called an oracle comes into play. Oracles are basically secure data messengers. They act as a trusted bridge between the blockchain and the outside world, feeding the smart contract the real-world info it needs to make decisions. Okay, that's enough of the theory. Let's get to the fun stuff. How are people actually using this technology right now, in the real world? Well, smart contracts are the absolute building blocks of what we call Web3, this whole new vision for an internet that's owned by users, not by giant corporations. Probably the biggest and most explosive area right now is decentralized finance, or DeFi for short. This is, and I'm not exaggerating, a whole parallel financial system being built entirely with code. Imagine getting a loan or earning interest on your savings, but with no bank involved at all. The smart contract becomes your new banker, and the costs are just a tiny fraction of what you'd normally pay. I'm pretty sure you've all heard of these. NFTs. Well, guess what powers them? Smart contracts. At its heart, the smart contract behind an NFT is like a digital certificate of ownership. It's the official deed that proves you own a one-of-a-kind digital item, whether it's a piece of art, a song, or a concert ticket. And that proof lives on the blockchain forever. And it's not just about digital art. This has massive potential for real-world business. Take supply chains. Companies can use smart contracts to track a product's entire journey, all the way from the factory floor to the store shelf. Every single stop is logged on the blockchain. This means you can guarantee something is authentic, say that organic coffee or luxury handbag, and bring complete transparency to the whole process. Now, this next one might just be the most futuristic application of them all. DAOs. That stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. Seriously, picture a company with no boss, no CEO, no board of directors. Instead, the company's rules are all written in smart contract code. Big decisions are made by community votes, and the money is managed automatically. It's a totally radical new way for people to organize and collaborate. Okay, so this technology is obviously incredibly powerful, but let's be real, it's not perfect. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's still very new, and it's super important that we talk about the challenges and the hurdles that are still out there. Yeah, it's definitely not all smooth sailing. A single bug in the code can be absolutely catastrophic, leading to huge financial losses, because remember, these contracts are immutable. You can't just go in and fix it. Then there's the fact that our legal system is still trying to figure out what to do with all this. And of course, the whole thing is only as good as the data it gets from the outside world. These are the big, tough problems that the brightest minds in the space are working on right now. But the good news is the path forward is becoming clearer. Blockchains themselves are getting way faster and cheaper. Major platforms like Ethereum are constantly evolving. And the really big push right now is to make this technology accessible to everybody. I mean, projects are exploring how to bring this to mobile users, with the ultimate goal of making using a smart contract just as easy as using any other app on your phone. So let's zoom out and bring this all home. What does this all mean for you, for us? What's the big takeaway here? We're looking at a new era of trust, a fundamental change in how we agree on, well, anything. This quote really nails it. Smart contracts are poised to fundamentally change the way we build trust and how contracts are made in our society. And that's the key. This isn't just about making things a little faster or a little cheaper. We are talking about rebuilding the very architecture of trust, shifting it away from breakable human promises and flawed institutions and towards something based on pure, unstoppable, verifiable code. Look, smart contracts are still in their very early days, no doubt. But they are an incredibly powerful new tool for building a digital world that's more fair, more transparent, and more efficient. And you don't have to be a coder to get it. Understanding this is for anyone who's curious about the future. So the real question isn't if this technology will change things, it's how. And now that you know the basics, what part might you play in it?